Welcome.
But that was it. Thanks for answering the question. I was just curious, and
Yeah,
Shabbat Shalom.
Travis. Bye.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hi. Are you Jewish?
I am.
Awesome. Like, are you from?
Frumish.
Good enough. All right. So I
I
always
wrap
look.
tefillin every day. So
That makes you pretty from. Although I think Madonna raps it also. So
but we can't help that, can we?
What do you say, lahavdil? All right. So this
First time on New Live, first time listening to you, was a bit confused. Just did a quick Google search. So no, I mean, what's the platform?
Okay. All right. So I'm Orthodox. I'm modern Orthodox, MO, whatever. And I've been doing this for a pretty long time. Like in Israel, I was a Makar for 5 years. I worked in Hebrew U, trying to bring overseas students like to yeshiva and some sort of learning program. So when I was in Israel, I had this idea. It's interesting. Every time we'd have an event, for like the Jewish college kids in Hebrew U, we'd get more non-Jews than Jews. There's a lot of like non-Jews in Tel Aviv U, Ben Gurion U, like whatever. And then I had this idea of why can't we just invite them also, right? If they want to become Jewish, they could convert. They could go to the Rabbanut and extend their visa and convert to Judaism. So then I was talking to a friend of mine who was learning in Or Sameach, who said, well, you know what? The Rosh Hashiva of the Derech program in Or Sameach, I think he's still there. His name is Rabbi Moshe Lazarus, feels the same way. I mean, he's a Dayan. This is like he's a post.
Ken.
That he believes it's okay to proselytize. And I'm like, all right. I mean, not that I needed a heter to tell me that it's okay to proselytize, because I knew the halacha. I mean, I learned in yeshiva, but I know that we don't do it, right?
Right.
Truth be told, there are no unwritten rules in Judaism. If someone says we don't do it or that, we have to ask, where's the makor? Where's the source for this? Right? Nowhere by Chazal does it say not to do it, right? It's true. You don't have to be Jewish to make it to the next world, whatever. You don't have to be Jewish. But this idea that we push people away or we actively discourage, right? Now, you could say that emphasizing the notion of sincerity is a form of discouragement. Okay, that's fine. Saying we're extremely serious. Do you know what you're getting into? If the person wants to leave on that point, they could leave. But the idea that we don't even answer their phone calls and we tell them that it's better to be a ben or a bat noach, like keep the 7 Noahide laws instead of convert, that appears nowhere in halacha. So I came to the conclusion quite early on that if there were more frum Jews in the world would be a better place. And especially today, when the world is against, not just religious Jews, but secular Jews in the state of Israel and all that stuff, I think it's about time for us to get with the game and realize that it's ultimately a numbers game.
Okay.
Now, you can respond.
That's interesting. That's all I've got to say. I mean, it goes against what I've been taught, obviously, all my life, that we don't proselytize. But you took it one step further. I mean, I believe all of the rabbis who I've studied with over the years, I've never said point me where it says we shall or shall not. It's just it's one of those things that you.
What's your background?
Conservative, and then conservative Orthodox kind of. Born and raised. Well, let's put it this way: my father, blessed memory, was raised Orthodox in an Orthodox home in the East Coast, and came from a frum family, as everybody was back in the day.
Well, let me ask you: do you wish that you're wrong?
Do I wish that I'm wrong of what?
That perhaps that unwritten rule wasn't there? I mean, do you disagree with anything that I just said about the world possibly being a better place if you had more sincere, moral, ethical Torah-keeping Jews?
No, I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with that statement in and of itself. But the question is, do we make more Orthodox Torah observant Jews from within our own ranks? The folks who were not raised religious or decided not to become religious, or do we look from without?
Well, we could do both, right? We could do both.
Yeah, I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's an interesting idea. Funny. I should stumble upon your life because I mean, I daven at Chabad, and I'm going to my Chabad rabbi's house tonight for dinner, and it's a conversation I'll bring up with him and see what his take is on
Well,
it.
I'll tell you, Chabad are probably the most anti what I do. And my son goes to Lubavitch. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
here in South Florida. He goes to LEC.
yeah.
So
There's not many choices in South Florida, right?
no, there's a
For,
lot of
for
South Florida. I mean, it depends what yours. There's tons of choices. My ex-wife put him there, I think, to get me mad because I'm a misnagid. All right,
okay.
where do you live? Where do you live? You're in South Florida?
No, 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 no. I don't tell people where I live. I live in the United States
Ah,
just because I debate on pro-Palestinian lives, and
that's
because of things like that, I don't tell people where
all
I
right.
live.
No, the reason I asked if you wish what you were taught was wrong is that I think you have to be taught that it's not a good thing to come to that conclusion because it's natural. I mean, for example, Jews proselytize. Here, look, you in particular proselytize all the time if you're scared to give your name because you're on Israel Palestine debates, meaning you proselytize um, the right that Jews have to the land of Israel, right? That's a form of proselytizing. So you are in the business of challenging bad ideas with good ideas. But why do
Correct.
you think that challenging a bad religion with a better religion is a bad thing?
I think, as I have been taught, that if people choose to come to Judaism, it has to be of their own choice and volition versus an external force pushing them in that way. And that to the point of, I mean, and I'll take it one step further, is that um, I'm not keen on the idea of people converting for a significant or a future significant other just because of they have deep emotional attraction and or feelings to that future significant other. If they, and I've known people over the years who have converted to Judaism. Actually, when I was in Israel and I studied in Israel, I mean, I met a rabbi. Actually, it was, I think H put it on back in the day, that it was a minister who got to the high ranks of the Protestant church and then got access to some of the deep libraries within the church itself, and came to the conclusion that his belief in the church was wrong and made the change to convert to Judaism, and he's now I wouldn't say respect. I mean, he is a respected rabbi, but he's a very well renowned rabbi as well. And while I was in Yerushalayim, I mean, he gave a fairly substantial lecture to, I don't know, there was like 400 or 500 of us at the time. But now the question is, to your thoughts and your beliefs, do we go external? I don't know. I mean, I'm not deep enough. I mean, you,
It's
in
quite
the
obvious. I mean,
yeah.
here, by the way, like, I learned in HL